Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hi there. Thank you for waiting. I had another call, doing another group call before this. My name's Kim. If I haven't met you before, I'm filling in for Sally today. Her internet isn't that good. So today's call is going to be on self-sabotage. Before we get into the technique, I've got a few options for us to do today. I'd love to hear, hi Rosemary from Chicago. I'd love to hear from a few of you. Love to hear some wins. If you could share some wins, and if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them now. We'll also have some space at the end of the call to ask questions also. So if you just want to go ahead and well, I've got 18 people. This is great. If you want to raise your virtual hand, so if you click onto the participants little button there, and it should say raise hand. This is great. Some new people also. If this is your first time, I'd love to hear from you also. Therese, hi there. Oh. Would you like to share, Therese? No. Sandrine? Yes, hi. Welcome. Hello.
I am one of the newbies. This is my first time. I'm very happy to be here.
Good to have you.
I started the 6-week program, and this week was all about the self-sabotage. So I was already diving into some of the material, and it had all those beliefs in there. And I'm one of the people that really struggles being able to put a number on things. And so a lot of them I'm like, I don't think so. And then so I'm just asking really because it felt like it was a success, but I would love to hear your input. I ended up doing a muscle testing on the question instead, because that I know how to do. And all of a sudden I got all these answers like, oh, that's surprising. I didn't know, and so I worked through the stuff. I tapped it, and then I went back to check the questions with my muscle testing, and some were good and some were still there. So I did another round, and one of them needed another one. And then I don't know if I was just fooling myself, but I felt really accomplished because I'm like, we did it. Because if I hadn't muscle tested, because I can't tell numbers, I would have just thought, well, I did it in one round, and thought, well, I went through it. And then figuring out, oh, it didn't work because something still keeps coming up. So I would love to hear your input on what you think about that approach.
Yeah. Are you talking about like the 300 belief?
No, it was in the self-sabotage document, like things like, if I'm thin, I'll this, that, or the other.
Yeah. Compared. Yeah, that's great. I mean, if that's going to work like that, yeah, brilliant. Those ones, I mean, we're going to be doing some other questions. I think that you can use that technique for it also. But I think that's great. Like use this course. If you have other tools to use with it, this is brilliant. And the tapping is just another tool for us to get there. And those questions are brilliant. Identifying something that might be holding you back. So I think that's great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Any other shares? I did see somebody else had their hand up, but now they don't anymore. Let's get in. If there's no other shares, I can get into, whoops. All right. Yeah, we can get into the techniques. Does everyone have a pen and paper there with them? Yep. Everyone got the memo. I have some sabotage questions. So I'm going to do a minute. Here's my paper right here. I'm going to set my timer for like a minute. And these sabotage questions, some of them are like quite repetitive, but often when you ask it like a different way, you might get a different answer. And the way I love journaling, because you might just be able to get out something that might not have there's something so brilliant about putting that actual pen to paper. So I'm just going to set my timer for 1 minute. The very first question is and actually is everybody's goal here to release weight? If your goal isn't to release weight, maybe if it's just to heal your relationship with food, or if you're here for like a different reason, put that reason, like when I'm going to say if I'm thin or if I release weight, I'll never be able to. And I want you to say, if I heal my relationship with food, I'll never be able to. Okay, so put this into your own words so you're going to get a better answer. Okay, so that's the first question. If I'm thin, I'll never be able to. And we're going to just wanted you to do like a brain dump for this. Okay, just 1 minute. When you're ready, just go writing everything. Good. That's 1 minute. The next question is similar. And does everybody understand what we're doing? You don't necessarily need to. If you want to share it, you can in the chat. But we're going to be working on these specific ones. This is like the first part of this technique, is just to find out what we want to work on through today. Okay. The next question is, what's the downside of weight loss? And when I say that, your initial thing might be like, what's she crazy? Of course, there's no downside, but still journal about it anyway, because often something like comes through like, oh, I think somebody is off mute. Maybe Rosemary, you want to go off mute? I'll do that for you. Often it might be like, okay, so and so might be jealous of me if I release weight and then I'm not accepted, or I won't be able to protect myself, or I'll get unwanted attention from other people. Okay, so we've got 1 minute on this. What is the downside of releasing weight? You might have one clear answer, but keep writing. You might get something new. Okay, 1 minute. That's a minute. The next one is, what's the upside of staying the same? Okay. And again, people are like, what? Nothing. I want to change. But the upside might be, yeah, downside, loose skin, Dave. Yeah. The upside might be like, I don't have to change, I don't have to take responsibility. I get an excuse for not socializing or for not advancing in any area that I want to advance in. All right, 1 minute. Yeah. The very last one is, who would I be without this problem? Who would I be without this problem? 1 minute here. All right, that's a minute. Good job. So for this technique, we're just going to find out, there might have been a few of the same answers there as you're writing those, as you wrote them down now. Go through and rate like the top 3. Okay, so rate their, the truth, 0 to 10. So for example, I need this weight as protection, right? 0 is that's not really that true, and 10, it's the truest ever. Choose what you'd like. Oh, seriously, some people writing. I'll just let you finish up what you've written there. So go ahead and choose what you'd like to work with today. Okay, so keep this piece of paper. There might be a bunch of different reasons there. We're going to just work with one today, just for the sake of time. But you can go back in. I'll give you the instructions to work through, or you can listen to the recording also. For what we're going to do, we're going to do an echo tapping for this thing. Okay, so when we're doing echo tapping, echo tapping is the same technique as we do like push the food away for emotional eating. So when we're pushing the food, essentially we're just triggering. We're making you triggered, and so then we follow that trigger back in time, and we find a time in your life that needed the most support. Okay, so we're not doing this with food. Now we're just going to feel into the trigger and follow it straight back in time. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about that before we get started? Or do you have any concerns you're not able to choose something? Just go ahead and unmute.
So we should pick the things that sort of add the highest score of truthiness, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And some of them you might be able to group some together. Some might be the same, but with different wording. So everyone's got their thing. All right. Any more questions before we get started? Yes, Christina, hi.
How many things do you need?
Just one. We're just going to work on
Okay.
one, okay? And you're going to keep this piece of paper. You can go through it at your own time. You can do it with the recording, or it's essentially the technique that we're going to use is essentially like the binge eliminator, which everyone has access to, and that's Brittany going through the push the food away technique 3 times. Okay, and so you'll find that some of them is repetitive, but we need to repeat them, okay? Because we're like that's the brilliant technique that you can go back in, support that younger version of you. Yeah. Let's get started, okay? So everyone's got their one thing, and the other thing I wanted to mention before we like that. Oh my gosh, which one do I choose? Just choose one. We're just going to go with that. You can do the others at a later time. Often, when you're working with something, other little, we call them echoes, other little versions of you might come up. It's like, oh, I could go to this 15-year-old or I could go to this 9-year-old. Just usually choose the younger version, the youngest version, and trust that if at another time that 15-year-old, for example, wants to come through, she can. So usually some people are like, oh, I'm going to try and do both, that can be another form of resistance, just popping up and not wanting you to, like, if you fully do whatever that 9-year-old was going through, we can support her instead of trying to do too many things at once, which doesn't really, when we're working with this technique, it doesn't really support this technique. Yeah. All right. If that makes sense. So I've already closed down your eyes. Take a couple of slow, deep breaths here. Another deep, deep breath. And just allow your breath to come to its natural rhythm. And I want you to feel into that trigger, feel into that thing, that statement. You can even feel into the last time that you felt like that. And I want you to follow that feeling back in time and just keep following it way back, back, back. Back to when you very first felt like this or wherever wants to show you today. And even if you feel like you're making it up, just choose an age. If you haven't found the age, I want you to just make it up. Choose an age below 7 or 7 and below. Okay, start tapping through the points and just trust the age that you've come up with. Some people are like, oh, I'm guessing it. Well, is it your guess or is it your subconscious? So just go with it. Tap through the points, take a deep breath, walk over to that younger version of you. Freeze anybody else if they're around. Introduce yourself if your little one hasn't already recognized you. Let her know that you are her from the future and you're here to support her. If it feels safe to do so, I want you to go ahead and step in the body of that younger version of you and start to feel everything that she was feeling. If it didn't feel quite safe to step into her body, go ahead and just hold her hand. And as you're there with her, whether you're inside her body or holding her hand, just feel everything that she was feeling. as that younger age, she didn't have the tools to process what was going on. But you, the adult, you do. Everyone's doing really well. Just keep tapping, feeling, and breathing. And I want you to, out loud, everybody's muted, say anything that you'd like to say. So you could say, oh, I can't believe this is happening to me. I'm so frustrated. Why is this happening to me? I don't deserve to feel like this. And bring in now somebody that might have done you wrong, whoever it was in this situation. So it can be a parent that maybe you would have liked them to be there, or if it was a teacher that was mean to you, bring them in, or another kid. Bring them in and freeze them so they can hear everything you're going to say, but they can't respond to you. Keep tapping through the points and stay in the body of that younger one and just give them a piece of your mind. Tell them exactly how their behavior made you feel. And say now some deserve statements. So, I don't deserve to be treated like this. I deserve respect. I deserve to be taken care of, for example. I deserve your presence. I deserve your love. Good. And anything else that you'd like this person to know? This is the part where we can send them to the healing center, which is a super powerful process that kind of humanizes this person. So if they did you wrong, chances are they went through a really shitty time in their life also that made them think that treating you this way was okay. Send them up to this imaginary healing center. You can imagine the world's best healers are there. They know exactly what this person would have needed. So see and feel them, this person work through issues that they had in their childhood or issues that made them, that created them to be the person that they were. Keep tapping through the point. Stay in the body of that younger one. See this person's face change, their body posture change as they realize what they've been doing, how it's impacted you. So have them come back down and have them fully apologize to you without going into story or blaming anybody else. Just have them take responsibility for what they've been doing. And when you're ready, go ahead and respond to this person in any way that you'd like. You don't have to. Take a deep breath here. See this person go off, or maybe police take them away. And I want you to step out of the body of that younger one. So you're there in the age that you are today. Go over and give them a big hug. Tell your little one that you're really, really proud of them. Tell them it is safe for them now, that you're going to be there for them. Tell that little one that it is safe for them to be in their ideal body. Give that little one another big, big hug. And ask them if there's anything else that they need from you. Maybe they need an extra hug. Keep tapping through the points. Give that younger one another big hug and see and feel a beautiful healing light coming in from above. Take a deep breath and see and feel this healing light sweep over your whole body. Cleanse, release any residual fear, confusion, anything that was related to this. See and feel it completely release, dissolve, and melt away. And now fill up with this beautiful healing light, filling up your toes, your whole feet, your calves, knees, and thighs, and that of your little one also. Take a deep breath and see that and feel this beautiful healing light into your whole pelvis, your belly, all your internal organs, your back, your lower, mid, and upper back. Feel your shoulders relax as this beautiful healing light comes into your heart, your chest, and your little one's chest also. down your arms and hands. Take a deep breath and feel this healing light coming into your throat, back of your neck, your whole head, and radiating out the crown of your head in your whole body. Look down at your little one. She's growing, glowing, that beautiful healing light also. Ask her if she wants to come with you and live inside of your heart. If she says no, that's okay. Just leave her there. Say your goodbyes. If she wants to come with you, shrink her down teeny tiny, place her into the center of your chest. And then from there, just see and feel her grow through the ages and through the different bodies, knowing it's safe for her. She's never alone. She has you. Continue seeing and feeling her grow, grow, grow all the way until she gets to the age that you are today. Good job. You're ready to stop tapping slowly and come back. Good job, everybody. Well done. Love to hear a few shares, how that was for you. You don't have to share if you don't want to. It's really beneficial hearing other people's experience of this.
I like to share.
Yes. Is that Nicole? Welcome.
Oh, hold on, I got my iPad upside down. That's why I'm upside down in the picture. I'm new. This is the first time I've ever done this, and I started on with the 7-day boot camp, and then I bought the program. But then I went on holidays and I haven't really started it. So I started it now, but I've been sort of listening to some things and having a really hard time identifying what my core thing was. And even when we went through writing these things down, I couldn't match up to any of the examples that you were giving. I don't feel like I'm protecting myself. I don't feel any of those things. And things I was writing down was, if I was thin, I wouldn't be able to eat the things that I want to eat and enjoy the things that I enjoy, because I really use food as a comfort for me. But doing this tapping that we just did and going back, and I had a little bit of difficulty finding a place, but this big thing that's sort of come up for me is that I have never loved myself. I've never been happy with myself, even from a really young age. And I have a very specific, memory of someone very, like a parent being very critical of me, and carried that through to now. And even when I am thin, or, I've lost weight, I've never kept it off. And I think, that self-sabotage is because I've never felt that it was enough. I never loved myself. I don't know if I did this right, but I just wanted to share.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's a big realization. That's a big aha. Yeah. And so you're in the right place to work through that. This whole program. I don't think it would sell if it was just like a self-love course. But
yeah, even when I have lost weight, I've always been so critical of myself. I've never ever just gone, you are amazing and fabulous. And I've never, no matter what weight I've ever been or any time, I have this thing where when I always walk by a mirror and I always take that side look, and it's this critical look of myself, whether it's a reflection in a window, in a mirror, or anything like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, the complete opposite of that would be to walk past and to high five yourself, to raise your eyebrows as you're walking past and go, "Milady," or like, "Hey girl," or just something to like give yourself a little bit of a, I like the
Mhm.
high five. That's a Mel Robbins thing.
Yeah,
does
the mirror work. And I have
Yeah.
done that. I do work on that, but I always fall back into that. Even when I've done that, it's like, oh, but
Mm.
look at your legs in that outfit, or look, and it's it's
Yeah.
I started this, and I started this call, and you're talking, I'm thinking, I don't know. And now I've got like tears in my eyes.
Mm. Yeah. So part of the part of the coursework, there's a module, that's the Sabotage one, about the inner critic. There's a whole technique for that. Yeah. But great share. Yeah. Yeah. So
Thank you.
You're in the right place. Continue.
Thank
How far are you doing the Thrive program?
I'm doing the
6 weeks.
like I said, I did the 7-day boot camp. I
Mhm.
loved it. I bought it, and then I went on a cruise.
Right.
So I'm really just coming back to looking at it and I'm starting from scratch.
Uh-huh.
I'm starting from like day one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're in the right place, and well done for jumping on the call.
Thank you.
Okay. Great. Anyone else would like to share? Jennifer, hi.
So
Yes.
I'll share. I found myself thinking about not when I was really young, but sort of like that early adolescent time when I was wearing a skirt that I just adored, and my parents let me know that I was growing out of it. Like, and I'm sure that they were just pointing out a fact that, kids grow up and you grow out of your clothes, and it wasn't like a intentional you're fat, but I sort of have the realization that that's how I heard it and that's how I really internalized it. And so it was challenging to have the conversation with my parents in this process to tell them that they did something wrong, because I don't know that they really did. Like, that's where I have a trouble with some of these, is like sometimes I can get there and I can be like, okay, yeah, that was not cool. Don't do that. But my memory of it is not that they were unduly mean about it. I just
Mhm.
internalized it more harshly than I think it was meant. So it feels
Yeah.
like it was my fault that it was traumatizing,
Mhm.
not their fault.
Yes. Yeah.
So like,
So,
any tips on
yeah.
how to like navigate that in
Yeah.
future
I hear
typing
what you're
sessions?
saying. So, I mean, we're not technically, you're not getting on the phone and calling your mom and calling her names. This is just for that little one and what she interpreted that moment as. So this is a thing, whether it actually happened, the technique stays the same. So, you can have those conversations that, like, I've had a conversation with my sister. She's like, that didn't happen. I'm like, my mom's like, that didn't happen. I'm like, I swear that happened. And so, I mean, who's to say, like, how do we know? Nobody can turn back the hands of time. So what we can do is change how you perceive that moment. And so if that's coming up for you, if you're going back and your subconscious is taking you back to that time, still work with it. And just say, okay, well, and you can say, I don't deserve to feel like this, that's true. All those parts are not, so I'm not saying
Mhm.
that your parents or whoever intentionally did you wrong. But if you felt the way that you're feeling, just still work through the technique as is. Yeah.
Okay. So more like honor the feelings that I had at the time,
Yeah.
and that the way I felt wasn't cool, even if, so I don't have to necessarily blame them
No.
for doing
And
it, but
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, so we're not like, even though we say to the parent, I deserve this and I deserve, so it's like kind of like, it does look like we're blaming them, right? But then we just let it go. We just let that go. I did this technique 1,000 times with my mum, and we didn't speak for like over a year. And we went through this whole thing. And then I completely forgave her. And now we're the best of friends. Like, I went back there, and it's like I let it go. And in letting it go, she came, and like she's a different woman and like,
Mm.
you know, so it's just like we don't hold on to, like, holding on to that is really it can be really, that can be like can be very heavy to feel and
Okay.
keep us stuck there. So yeah, part of this. And so but what we're doing when we're going back into the younger version of ourselves, we're stating those boundaries. So nobody teaches us that we can have boundaries. So when you're saying, I deserve this, you know, that's not okay that you did that, like we probably get slapped if we had said that in the moment. So it's really good just to be able to go back in as the adult and step in the body and give her that voice. And then that changes how you feel about it. It's like, actually, well, that thing kind of still happened, but how I feel about it has changed because I was able to stand up for myself.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Yeah, great work. Anybody else? Any of the new people also would like to share? Natasha, sorry.
Good question. Yeah. Thank you. So I had a memory of when I was younger, I was usually kind of more thicker than my brother, and he usually got more picked on being thin, and I ended up what I felt like often in sort of a protector position. And so I was, I think that's one of the places where I got a message that being thin is not safe and it's better to be thicker and have more weight on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was interesting.
Brilliant. Yeah, great realization. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, that's why these questions are really good, because you can go back to them, like ask them to yourself again. Like, did anybody have anything come up to them that they didn't think? Maybe when they kept journaling, did anything new come up?
I didn't so much have something, hi guys, come up that was new. It's just another layer of my relationship with my dad. And he seems to be the focal point of all of these. And I was very young, 4 or 5, and I stole some candy from a neighborhood store. And I was thinking about as we were doing this, and it was my very first act of rebellion because I knew it was wrong. And it was with candy. Okay. And I got caught and spanked, had to pay them back, all of that. But it made me realize that even at that age, I was so upset with my dad being a mad, angry person. And that I was rebelling against that. So once again, had to go hug that little girl. Tell her she's okay. She's right. He's not supposed to be that way. We have to send him to that healing place because, you know, he had a bad childhood, you know, so he was kind of passing it on, but still, it wasn't good for me. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Very good. Yeah, you're so welcome. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi there.
You're also Australian, right?
Yes. Hi, Jan.
Hi. That was, yeah, I had something that came through that was very telling of the day. But I had something really disruptive happen today that had to do with a family member. And then going back to that very young age, they were the person, like the first one that came up that, of course, I didn't want to deal with. And I was like, no, it would normally have been this other person. But then I was like, fuck it, who cares who it is? I think I need to go with them first. And I was really surprised by when you say, when you said, the boundary thing that you were talking about I deserve this, I deserve that. I just found myself really like, I'm not your puppet. And I literally opened my eyes. I was like, I have to write that down. And it was like the biggest aha moment of, I'm here at this point, or just before my 50th birthday with this person because of that. And I always have been. And they've always manipulated me. And even that moment, it was just a really a light shedding moment for me when you said about that boundary part. I was a bit like, I really don't like, personally, the word deserve is very difficult for me. I remember saying that years ago to my therapist, and they're like, yeah, but does the kid deserve to carry all that water in Ethiopia to get a drink? And I'm like, oh. So it's like, so I've always had that thing. And so when you said it, my body was like, and then I'm like, it came out and I was like, ooh, thank you.
Yeah, great realization. Yeah, good work.
Yeah.
Good work.
Thanks so much for that.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And some of the note take, like, I know the note takers in the class.
Sorry, I had to. It was one of those things where,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I want to work on that later.
Yeah. But also, be in the trust that when we're doing this work, the subconscious, it will tell you, like and so, the part that is like the really important part is staying in the feeling. So a lot of times when we're coming out of it, I would say some people I'm like, close your eyes, like, don't come out of it, like stay in that, feel it. And also if you're going back to like 2 or 3 different ages and you think, okay, that's when I need to stop and write, just be like, trust that you're going to go back. And that will come with you, because the mind wants to take us out of the moment. But yeah, good job though, Jan. Well done. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Time for one last share. And who's going to go and do the rest of these ones? Once, if you do some, like, you don't have to do it today. Like, if you're doing something quite intense, just like leave it, leave it for today. Maybe revisit it tomorrow. If you don't feel like doing it tomorrow, the next day. Some of these stuff, when you're going through, you don't want to also do a bunch of these at once and then go, oh, now I'm into resistance. So just be gentle with yourself and do jump onto these circle calls. They are brilliant. There's Sally was going to do this call, but she couldn't make it today, but she's a great coach. You also got Coach Teen too, and she's going to be doing the next emotional eating one. There was a problem with her calendar or something, so that's going to be this Wednesday. So don't miss that one. Coach Teen is great. Any one last share?
I would like to say something.
Yes. Rosemary, yes.
Hi. I've noticed that in the week that we were doing the 7 days, I've gained so much weight after my divorce. And I noticed when we were talking, when she was telling about self-sabotage and everything, I was looking through my pictures and I go, oh my God, I was so thin in all this marriage. I was up and down, but I could lose weight really, really fast. And I was looking through all those pictures, and all those pictures were just sad. I was thin, but I was completely sad. My face was not happy. And my kids would tell me, Ma, you put pictures on Facebook, but you're really putting a mask on because you're not happy. And I got divorced and I'm happy, but I think my subconscious think that I should not lose weight because it's not safe to be thin. Because it will take me back to how unhappy I was.
Yeah.
When I was thin.
Huge realization. Yeah.
And that really, really broke me. I started crying because I said, oh my God, I just realized. And I look at all the pictures and I never smile. And now I'm teaching myself how to smile. I'm teaching myself when they take a picture, I look at myself, I said, how do I smile? So I practice smiling. Like right now I'm practicing. And I'm happy now. I'm really happy. I have no stress. I bought my house. I live in a beautiful neighborhood. I'm a truck driver. But the weight, I need to really, really program my subconscious that there is no more hiding anymore. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well
wanted
done.
to say that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So good. Yeah. And that's a huge, I mean, how courageous that is to take yourself out of that situation.
Thank you.
Congratulations
Thank you.
at home and everything. That's so good. I mean, so this whole process, it's great because, you kind of hit the nail on the head, like, like being able to feel how sad that you've been. So we're teaching the body that it is okay to feel that. Anything that's okay, it's okay to feel any times that your boundaries were overcrossed or anything that happened in your life, this situation or anything before. So as much as you can tap, and even if you're driving, if you're driving, don't do any of the visualization stuff, but you can tap and do that subconscious program. It is, even though there's a part of me that wants to hold on to weight, you could do that. You could do the finger tapping. And just, the more that you can tap and practice and tell your body that it is safe,
Yeah.
it's going to be a really big one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's one of the subconscious weight loss blockers too. What happened last time, once we go through a big stressful time in our life and put the weight on. And also, like, if there's a lot to unpack there. That could be like, because it's a male, it's like I don't have protection or something like that. There's like the weight, there's protection. So yeah, there's a lot there, but you're in the right place, Rosemary. Yeah, keep doing the work. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Julie, last share.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to all the ladies who did share and for this call this evening. I'm also new in the program, and the trigger that came up for me, in full transparency, it's really about my cycle and just femininity in general, and the way that my dad would demand that you hide that. So it's like all supplies, anything related to a menstrual cycle, dirty, horrible, feeling ashamed, um, just a lot of layered feelings. And then, how my mother um, wasn't the greatest model. She had a full hysterectomy when she had me. So I just, like, I didn't have tools. I didn't have those tools. And what I found really profound in the tapping, what you had said about sending the person who wounded, even if they didn't intend it, what were they going through? But even more so, because I've done a lot of forgiveness work and Ho'oponopono prayer, but was sending him to his healing place. And I felt like that was a layer or a key that I haven't been doing, but feel that I can incorporate for a lot of value. And so that feels complete, and thank you.
Brilliant. Yeah. Great to have you here. Great realizations there. Excellent call, everybody. Well done. I will see you all. I think I've got another call coming up with you guys in a couple of weeks, but do get onto the makeup call with Teen this Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. Bye-bye. And post into the Tapping Circle group, the Facebook group. We'd love to hear from you there.
Can I ask you something, Kim? I'm so sorry. How does one get the information for that makeup one? I'm very lost with the website and
that should have
everything.
been emailed out to you. It's going to be the same link. So all of the
okay.
The
and
calls
so what
are
time?
the same.
Okay.
So 1 p.m. Eastern. You have to look at what time that is for you.
Oh, the 10 a.m. Yes.
Yeah,
I saw that.
And that's going to be on, like, so Wednesday for us is going to be Thursday morning for you. And you can also find so she put this all into the Facebook group also. So you can find the links in the Facebook group or your emails. Yeah.
Okay. So Wednesday, LA, 11 a.m. That's where I live. So that's perfect. Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Great. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Welcome. Bye.
Bye.